As the team ventures forwards into, well, I would call it an adventure if it wasn't just straight up hassling a man from running away from you. Your team, after a few days of gentle relaxation before political matters take root, found a missive, or at least a potential missive, directed towards perhaps Aster. However, that was destroyed when a whole bunch of magic missiles blew up a bird. With the attribute that Alpani has, which is talking with animals, you were able to discern what more or less was going on. Someone was about to head over towards the capital to talk about something. It would be within the next few days, but you guys intercepted him before they had a chance to fully integrate, potentially having an advantage in the forest. Honestly, good on you. But the next few things are very, very awkward. Going invisible, Yoko and Aster headed off to the tree that is fallen, while also keeping an eye on the encampment site. Yoko was able to discern that the individual known as Dark Shadow was more or less there, but in a defensive stance, getting ready to attack if it arose. But they never really truly attacked you. Being the air quotes representative that was sent, Alpani spoke with them. They asked if they were alone, and Alpani rolled, I think it was a 12, which wasn't good enough to be deceived, but he still allowed communication. It wasn't until Alpani made mention that, in truth, she had no idea anything about the missive since it was more or less destroyed. I don't think you told them it was destroyed, just never received. They basically stated deals off, activated the one trap that they did have set up, which was a fire starter that basically just engulfed in flame the area around him. And again, it's nothing against Thane. It's just, why would you use wind to extinguish a flame? And Yoko, I believe it was Yoko or Apani, I forget who, casted a tsunami in the area
That
to
would be Alpani.
extinguish the flame, which makes sense. Water. But at the exact same time, both spells procced. Taking a look, Yoko, with your hyperactive passive perception, Alpani's, I think you are tied currently. You were able to see someone in the horizon line 500 feet away, give or take a few hundred, running. For some reason, you decided to attack him, or at least restrain him, and you darted off using a magic spell. Go ahead, Yoko.
We didn't get any answers out of him.
You for sure did. Just not ones you asked. You basically numbed his body for a quick second, but not before he could drink a potion. Hitting the ground, Alpani and Aster were air quotes teleported. I just basically said you got there. After Thane teleported back to get Alpani and bounced back, leaving Aster alone. But I'm just going to say you're all there. Alpani, you casted a remove poison type of thing, but Dark Shadow, air quotes, stated that it's too late for that now. And you have about 5 minutes with his body, whatever that means. He told you guys about certain matters at hand that have already shown themselves, but giving you more detail on them. And you have, air quotes, 5 minutes left in game time. And that's where we begin. Dark Shadow looks towards all of you, but mainly Alpani, since they were the one that healed. You have about 5 minutes with this body. I suggest you use it to your advantage before I decay away.
My name is Aster Altor. I assume that the missive was meant for me. I did not receive it correctly. What was the original missive and your intention of coming here?
The missive was for the next ruling leader. If that is you, then that is where the bird was sent.
It was killed by on-site security.
kind of the truth. Kinda. It's not. They're not gonna roll insight. Honestly, you've air quotes betrayed his trust enough. So no matter what, he's still gonna speak his truth. Regardless of that notion, the next leader was supposed to meet me here to establish a potential next term of contract, as well as finalizing the last information I was sent out to acquire. One was fulfilled, the other cannot be fulfilled. As thrice now, I have been betrayed by your words. And after you think, not your words specifically, welcome Star, but the words of the group.
What would it take for another meeting to happen?
It is already too late.
I am open to negotiation. I am an agreeable man.
Thrice
I
now.
simply do not do this game of secrecy and stealth so easily.
Thrice now, I have given you a potential boon, gain. One was speaking with your individual partner here, basically gesturing towards Alhani, but doesn't gesture since I think you tied him up. And mentioned that they were your representative. That was obviously a farce, since you never received the missive, but I let it go. Did not know you didn't have it, but nonetheless, that was not applied to the term in the agreement. 2 was when I asked if your representative was alone. Second time where they faltered in their statements. And the third was when they stated that you never received the missive. I think those were the words. I don't really remember. It's been 2 weeks. So I cannot exactly trust your words in these matters.
Know that you deal with me directly now. I never lie.
No. You've already been indirect. That is cause enough for deception. You have 4 minutes with this body remaining. I will answer any questions this one has seen. That is all I will provide to you any longer.
Sounds like you'd be kind of a pain in the ass to work with anyway.
Who do you work for?
I work for myself, but many others as well. I work for this kingdom, I work for the kingdoms below, and I work for various networks intermingled with the societies around us. But I myself choose to work with them. I'm not employed under one specific one. And then he looks towards Yoko. Says the woman that straight up attacked someone randomly in the forest for leaving after seeing spells thrown at them.
I didn't hurt you.
Nevertheless, you never knew. Intent and desire are 2 different things. Failure.
I was trying to
and success.
subdue you.
Mm-hmm.
I am not your enemy. Know that much at least. At least I do not think I am.
I do not hold enemies. Well, maybe towards Yoko. They don't say that out loud. But Yoko's been giving him sass. As long as I am not assigned to deal with you, there is no grudge between us. Either of us. And the way they said that, you can tell either the person speaking through the body or more or less the entire group and them.
Well, if you are assigned to deal with me, I ask that you approach me directly, rather than through messenger or pigeon, so that I might make a better use of my nature and sway you to my opinion.
3 minutes in game time. He then states, "That is not what I do. If the last heir did not properly guide the new, that is not my fault to bear."
Well, you don't really seem to know what's going on here at all if you don't even know about that.
I am not. He would state, "This one is not assigned to look after the new heir. This one was assigned to look at the depths and see the turning light."
What do you know of the light?
They have recently worked with the Drow matriarchs coming, and he's already told you this roughly, I don't know, in game time 5 minutes ago, before he sprinted off away. Made contact with the Drows not too long ago, roughly a day ago, around the city somewhere, around the forest somewhere, sorry. They have already made their steps to move forwards, using your little escapade down there as enough of a kindling to the new flame. Also, anyone else, feel free to speak. So, Yoko, you good? It seems that you keep going in and out of the game.
Yeah, it's because my internet is shit right now.
Oh, no. That was me last week. But yeah, anyone else, feel free to speak as well. Hopefully, Star, you're able to speak right now. Or if you're just staying quiet, that's perfectly fine.
I can speak. I just literally woke up.
Okay. Well, basically, you guys have 2 in-game minutes, which just basically means however long they decide you guys ask a question, to ask him whatever you intend to. So far, you've asked a few questions, but nothing major, or at least nothing specific, to a degree. This person, whoever they are, seems to be communicating in a way that suggests this body is not their own, but are using it in some way or fashion. You're not sure what will happen in air quotes 5 minutes, but they will likely not be here in that time. They've stated as well that due to the best way is incompetence in the workplace, they will no longer do any jobs for this kingdom. Or, well, specifically the current leader of the kingdom. As they've been, in their mind, I don't know about you guys, since you are the PCs, lied to 3 times. They have a whole, well, not that you know this, 3 strikes you're out rule.
Right. Did they tell us what the 3 times lying to him 3 times was?
Yeah. One was saying that Alpani is representative of Aster, and in his missive, it did not state that he can have a representative. Well, I'll explain the note later, but basically that wasn't a thing. It was supposed to be face-to-face. Since he's already betrayed that, that's 1. The second one, when Alpani stated that they were alone, they saw through that, that's 2. And obviously, you know, they can understand having representative in case this guy kills them, or coming with security in case something is bad to happen. But at the third one, which is not the biggest issue one, it's more like if this was straight up told to him clearly without waiting in the conversation that you didn't never receive the missive, he might have been more understanding, but that was strike 3. They're not.
So if you won't be working with us anymore, I'm assuming we should just kill you the next time we see you because you'll be working for someone else.
Employment underneath another does not mean involvement with you. But you can do whatever you like, Miss Yoko. I don't know if you said your name. Then they would just say Miss.
What would it take for me to hire you again?
Having a new leader in the stead. Your position would be changed. As you are now, I cannot be hired by someone.
You weren't hired by him in the first place.
I am not suggesting that I was hired by him. I'm suggesting as he is now.
But you're treating him as though he had agreed to all your conditions and rules from before.
Again, if the former did not teach the after, it is not
They weren't on
my
good terms.
failure.
I do not mean to suggest that it is your failure. It is clearly the failure of my predecessor. And it is with great remorse that I think that we are parting on unamicable terms.
It is a shame indeed. You have 1 minute left. And you can tell he's more or less, kind of that thing of just being fired by your boss, but, glad that the other...
He wasn't fired, he quit.
Air quotes! Fired by your boss, air quotes, and having that one bad cubicle neighbor in your work office gone. Basically, Yoko. He's fine with you, Aster. He just can't work with you under the certain conditions that are now placed. But, he's fine with you. Maybe not with Yoko, since she keeps giving him sass.
He deserves it.
I'm not
If
saying
the
no.
conditions change and you find yourself able to work with me again, I would hear you out. I will be expecting communication. I hope this form's passing is not too painful for you. Good day.
Okay, he's there for like another 30 seconds and you just walk away.
I'd already walked away.
Yeah, you walked away a while ago. Okay.
I meant to walk away like around 2 minutes, but I was still trying to load up the game.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. You could have left a while ago. In the meantime, does anyone stay to see him pass, or do you just like leave him? Does Yoko stab him in the neck or kill him?
No, I'll just get a good distance away and keep an eye on him when he dies.
Yeah. Okay. You do see his body slowly churning. It's not as if he is dying properly. Poison would have this effect, or at least it would have happened a long time ago. And Alpani already cured him. Whatever that poisonous substance was, maybe it was for some other factor. But nonetheless, you can tell that the body is decaying away. At least the surface layer of the body is decaying away. In a few moments, you can tell that another form is underneath it. A more or less young-ish elven man, roughly around the age of equivocal to maybe 34 years old. I'm just going to choose this guy. Disappeared on me. That is a weird roll 20. But whatever. There we go. A nice enough young man-looking kind of guy. You can tell that he's very ill-looking, but still alive, and slowly regaining consciousness. You can leave him out here. He'll be, air quotes, fine. But it's still a weird thing to take note of.
Alpani would not leave someone by themselves. Especially if they were dying.
It looks like he's just very ill.
No, I meant from before that she wouldn't have left.
Okay. You're
She
still
was
there. Yoko's a distance away. Roughly a minute later, he does regain consciousness, slowly breathing. But before that happens, Thane, what are you doing?
Just waiting for everybody to get back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Did you hear what I said?
I heard something about heading back.
I'm just gonna wait for everybody to head back.
Okay. Aster, you easily enough join Thane eventually. I don't believe you said you held back or stayed back, unless I did not hear you.
No, I was just gonna make my way back to the castle. Really.
Okay, cool. Then it's just those two. Just making sure where everyone was. So, air quotes, Dark Shadow wakes up about a minute later after his first layer decomposes away. Yoko, like maybe 2 trees to the south, arms ready just in case they murder someone. And Apani's like right next to the guy. They open their eyes slowly, and they look around. They are startled, but they like don't go. Like his clothes is still on him. It's just he has no idea what's going on. By the looks of it, they look towards you, Apani, and go, "What is this? Where am I?"
I think you might have been under some type of spell to be controlled. Maybe adjust your body.
Spell? Like he pats himself up and down, and he then takes note of his right chest area. He opens his like collared shirt, and like it's the 2 passive perception people, so of course you notice. You can tell that there is a immediate stabbing where the heart would be on the left side, if I remember anatomy correctly. Yeah. You both can easily tell it would have pierced by the blade shape. Yoko, you can determine that it is a ceremonial dagger for necrotic rituals and something of that nature. After you've studied blades, and so you can tell the type of etch marks there. And Apani, you can tell by the way the skin around that area is more or less darkened. He should be dead. Other than the immediate area, an inch around that stab mark, the rest of his flesh and blood seems to be properly working. It's weird. He should be dead. Surprised by this, you can tell that they are afraid, skittish, not by you, just by the notion of that marking. They go, I don't really know what's happening. The last time I checked, I was fighting someone, heading in the mountains. And someone ambushed me in the back, and then they stabbed me in the heart.
Well, perhaps we should, I don't know, I didn't mean to click that. It's what I want to do, but I didn't mean to click it right now.
Yeah.
Have anything? If you allow me, I do have knowledge of healing. I would like to look at the wound to make sure it's not going to get any worse.
Of course. Anything helps?
Also, my name is Alhani. Do you have a name?
Faraday? Faraday Jolts?
Okay. So, Alhani is going to use Detect Magic to see if there's any extra stuff she should be worried about.
Detecting magic, you can determine that this man is, well, a man. But you can also determine that the energies around his body are circulating not with the natural order of magic a normal body would, but one of energy within the... it feels unnatural. It feels darker. It feels a lot more shadowy. Apani, go ahead and roll Arcana. Actually, what are your two classes again?
Cleric Druid.
Cleric Druid, that's what I thought. You might know this. Go ahead and roll Arcana. Or Nature. Whichever's better for you. That's okay. I'd ask Yoko to roll as well, but unfortunately they disconnected. Oh, they're back. Apani, you can determine with your natural 20, the energy that's currently flowing through him is from the Shadow Wave. The energy plane of, well, darkness, of spooky things. This type of energy imbues specters, the undead, shambling maws, dark, nefarious rituals. It's more akin to necrotic damage than anything else. It can help with the revivification of someone, or maybe trying to, I don't know, bring a soul back to the body in a way that isn't truly alive, but more like a puppet. It definitely feels like foreign magic, but it's definitely the thing that's keeping him alive right now. Oh, so I'm going to quickly move him for a second so I can get rid of Shadow, the hedgehog. He's also still tied up. I don't know how he untied himself, but yeah. I'm going to say he got thinner and the ropes loosened.
With my knowledge, would I know how to, keep him alive, but get rid of the necrotic energy that's surrounding him?
With the natural 20, I'll tell you that is the only thing that's keeping him alive. The thing that could potentially get rid of it and, make him whole again is greater restoration or reincarnation or true reincarnation spell.
Guess what I don't have?
Yeah. He's not in any, air quotes, danger right now. It's more along the lines of, they use his body for some type of necrotic ritual. They stopped doing the ritual, but his body's still active, more than likely due to you healing him, which just means he has his body back and his mind intact. It's just no longer tied to that ritual.
So pass the information on the Yoko and him. I mean, it is about him.
He's very distraught. Heavy.
Perhaps we can find a way to completely heal you, given some extra time. I don't have access to some of the magic that would be required for it.
I don't know. I don't even know where I am right now. This man is panicking. Just waking up, who knows how long ago, inside of an area he's not familiar with. You can tell he is afraid. And based off of Yoko's joke, he might have good reason to be afraid.
We're in the woods just outside the capital of Mauritania.
He does go wide-eyed and goes, that's in the other continent. Why am I here? What's going on? He asks questions that a panic person would, which means you can't really answer these questions. More than likely, Alpani tries to calm him down, help him relax, and Yoko is there. After getting not relaxed but calmed enough, Yoko just shrugs. He does state, I really don't know. I don't even know what I have on me. I don't even know these clothes. If you can help, I'd appreciate it, but I don't even know what I am right now.
Did you not always look like that?
I don't even know what you're talking about. You explain to him what happened, and he goes, I don't even know. I wasn't, I don't know, I guess aware of it.
So the
Well, you just
ritual-
said you don't even know what you are right now.
Well, you told me
Aren't
I
you?
should be dead.
Aren't they? Fair enough.
Yeah, the ritual must have completely shut down his mind when the shadow or whatever his name is was controlling him, his body. Must be his way of keeping himself safe.
Perhaps. You didn't roll another 20 on the ritual. But that is a good potential thing. But yeah, you can tell he is frightened and scared, but he's willing to ask for help or go along with you. It's not as if you have to help him. He's just will technically be able to help himself. He's just a panicked man.
What kind of skills do you have?
Not many. I'm good with a fife. Good with a tune. I carry the sword. He wouldn't have a sword technically. It would technically be daggers and a short sword on his hilt. Sorry, hip. More of a music man than anything else. Don't even know this equipment that I have on me. The way it sounds, Yoko, by what you typed in, you're not technically wrong.
You said he has a short sword on his belt?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't know what to do with that equipment, I'll be taking that sword for you.
Really, Yoko?
I don't know how to use it. If you untie me, it's all yours. I'm going to say half of his body's still tied up. His hands, which he uses to gesture, are loosened enough. Again, no one untied him.
Your obsession with blades is sometimes concerning.
Yoko, do you take it? Do you take this deal?
I'll take the sword first.
You have it in your possession now?
Then I'll untie him.
Okay. He does thank you. It's not as if he runs away. He doesn't even know where he's at. On another continent, he can't even get back home.
I don't feel comfortable leaving him to his own devices here, considering what's happened to him. So I believe if anything, I'll take him on as one of my charges to try and help him until I have access to the magic and we can get him home.
Well, I don't care what you do with him. You'll have to talk with Aster about it, though.
Yoko, you do have a +1 necrotic blade. It deals 2d8 necrotic damage. It's not cursed. Well, you don't think it's cursed. Like, you take a practice swing, like, on a branch or something, and immediately the life in that branch is decayed away. The bark begins to become far more brittle and breaks apart, while the leaves around it become seeped in with darker energy. The tree itself is fine. It's just that area probably needs to be trimmed now since it's dead. Not that Yoko knows. I don't know if Yoko knows about gardening, but it's neither here or there.
So Alpani will look at Clarendane. So I guess follow me for now. We will need to talk with Aster about this, but I don't feel comfortable with you wandering about with this, whatever affliction it might be.
Very well. Agreeable. He does join you, which he goes in the background. He's there. It's just, I don't know where you're going next, and I don't know if he's in that map.
So, I guess just head back at this point?
Yeah. It doesn't take long for Aster to catch up to Thane, supposedly. I think you guys went back to the castle. I don't know exactly where you are, so I'm just going to put you here. He's sneakily gone. Okay. You guys eventually get here without too much of an issue. Yoko, I don't know, maybe finds her charge. She did head back to the castle on orders. Thane, you may or may not have found your wife here. She's certainly doing recon in the city, so it depends on how late in the day it is. Aster, this is the same exact day you told the group that you read their minds. And so they're dealing with that. No one has run away. The people that you perceived as potentially suspects are still there. Your sister would be here at this time. Which she is. I just forgot to put her there. She was likely informed by Dean. Here's what we're gonna do. It's been a couple days while you've been waiting and preparing for the next event that's about to happen. Aster, you already have the suspects of who may not be the betrayer, unless you think it's your sister. I don't know. Could be. Alpani made a request to see Harvey later on. Or was it Cole? I think it was Cole. Yeah, it was Cole. Yep. To speak with him later on in the afternoon. And Thane technically is still going to school, but I guess skip today. And Yoko, not really sure what you're going to do. So, tell me what you intend to do for the remaining of the day, and then we are going to skip a week and a half to the event that is about to take place, which is the meeting of the cities. If you want to RP it out, we can definitely do that. What you plan to do today, but also think about what you intend to do for the next week and a half. We'll go with Yoko first, unless they're already typing something.
Yoko will just spend some more time training with Sprite for today, and if she sees Peter again,
he wouldn't be in the castle, but you can definitely find him again. He's right around the corner near the servants' quarters. He's leading up there. Someone eventually returned his sword to him. The man is very forgetful.
and if he's up for it, she'll spend some time practicing with him too over the next week.
Yeah, he'd be for sure down to sword practice. Honestly, fighting and fighting are the main things he thinks about. That and cheering up his friends and comrades and helping them out. So he's for sure down to help out in this. Okay,
I guess you could say he's got a checkered background.
I hate you.
That is terrible. Okay.
You're welcome.
For sure, Sprite would gain actual proficiencies in her weapons, so that is what she gains for this entire week and a half of training. Yoko, are you trying to gain something, or do you believe like you can just hang out?
She's just trying to practice her skills and get better at them.
Yeah. I'm going to take a quick look at your character sheet. Don't mind me. But as you're training with him and Sprite, you begin to more or less see that this man's a powerhouse. He does a lot of strength swings rather than dexterity. Not really finesse-based. But, you know, he has his
kind of
moments.
has to be a powerhouse to use that sword.
Yeah. So I want you to go ahead and roll athletics to try to, when practicing his swings against you, to just hold steadfast on the blade, just aiming for yours. And I want you to go ahead and roll it 3 times. This more or less means that 3 times, air quotes, during the week you've been training with him. Okay. Not the best numbers, but it's okay. You can tell he swings in heavily, but you are able to sustain it for the first time. But it does take you a couple of days to, you know, have that numb feeling in your hands to go away. The rest of the week is more or less uneventful, just trying to make sure he doesn't stab into you, because this man does not know how to not hurt someone. But over the course of time, you know, he does good well enough, and, you know, Sprite learned something. And hey, isn't that what it's all about? No, it's not. But unfortunately, your rolls were not sufficient for something I was going to do. Aster, what do you do for the remaining day and then the remaining week and a half?
The plan is to kind of just work, actually.
Yeah.
I'll see to whatever affairs crop up. Make sure that everything for the meeting is good to go. That's really all I got.
Okay. Adjusting to the paperwork life, which you haven't really had to deal with since becoming king. I mean, a few days here and there, and then you basically left to have mostly the council. deal with it will you getting reports and saying the yay or nay final things on a few things here and there. But obviously trying to make yourself as open as possible to get communication as smooth as possible. You work on the rooms that are going to be used for the meeting. You make sure to, adjust the magic identifying array spell that Jean had created, not necessarily for you, but, it could be used for you, all the while doing the paperwork to just prepare for the upcoming events. I want you, Aster, to go ahead and roll insight.
I am going to use a luck point.
I will tell you, this is the time and duration of the week. So you'll technically, air quotes, have luck points throughout all of the rolls. So if you want to, I guess. But that is 1. So the first one is 23. Go ahead and roll again, and then another one again. And tell me when you decide to use a luck point. I did not consider luck points in this
I will just act like I have 3 for the entire week.
Thank you.
Said again?
Yes.
Keep that one.
Okay. And one more.
And I'll keep that one.
Yeah, I don't think you need to. Okay. The qualifying mark for this one specifically is 15, but with 2 23s, I'll go with the median, which is enough. Throughout all the paperwork and trying to make sure the rooms and everything else is cleared up, Aster, you gain proficiency in insight. If you already have proficiency in insight, go ahead and add expertise.
Sick height.
Apani, what are you doing for the remaining day and then the week and a half?
So, get back to the castle, request to meet with Aster to talk to him about Arendelle. Explain the whole situation and how Alpani does feel kind of responsible to try and heal him. Or she's just taking responsibility, I guess. Not really.
I mean, if he didn't do anything, he'd be dead. So it's not as if you did. It's not as if you did anything bad. So, taking responsibility is more appropriate, I suppose. But we speak with Aster about this situation at hand, and Aster, for sure, you have the room inside the castle. You don't carry as many retainers as your father once did. You're not as paranoid as he, and you also don't hold many a gala in the castle as often as he did. So there would be truly no need for that. Furthermore, you would probably have a safe house somewhere in the city in case, the castle became a problem. Or if he had 10 gold, he'd be fine for a couple months instead of an inn somewhere.
There's something you wanted to speak with me about.
Yeah, it's this gentleman next to me. Is the body that the shadow used through a necrotic ritual? He's since regained his control of his own body, though he is so affected by the ritual until he can be healed. I am hoping to do that myself, unless we can find someone willing to do that. Though I feel that it's best to keep under wraps what happened.
I would agree.
So Preferably trying to find a safe place for him until I am able to use the magic necessary to heal him, and then eventually send him to his home.
And what would you ask of me?
If it would be safe for him to stay in the castle temporarily until we can find other accommodations.
Ask that he is not here during the meeting, and that is my only request.
Oh no. Yes. Sorry, Yoko. Sorry. Sorry, Alpani. Looks like Yoko disconnected. Basically, Peter doesn't really know how to hold back. I told you to roll athletics, and if you did succeed on those marks, you would have gained either proficiency or expertise. Aster did his own thing. He gained insight, rolled well enough that he gained proficiency or expertise in insight. Now it is Apani's turn.
But, yeah, I'm sure we can arrange something. I have a meeting with someone else that perhaps they might be able to help in that situation. Actually, I have a couple meetings, I believe, today. But I will make sure he is away from the castle when all the other city council leaders or whatever they are show up.
Thank you.
I will write down later and explain the ritual that I detected with what has happened to him. Something to be wary of yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you. So pretty much with that done, Apani would go to get ready to meet Cole, I think is what you said.
Yeah.
Was the one?
He was the one with the golden ring.
Which wouldn't that happen? That would have to happen at night when they're all getting ready to leave.
It wasn't specified what time you wanted to meet him, so if you had to guess, he's like waiting for you to like nudge him on the shoulder. Like they get breaks, but if you decide to wait until like everyone's out, totally up to you.
Do I have a spell for nudge on the shoulder?
Mage hand?
Call lightning.
That's death.
It's not death.
It could be. You don't know how strong this guy is.
I mean, if I cast it at 7th level, it probably is. Wish I can only do that once. And I actually don't have mage hand.
Most of these people are non-fighting politicians.
I would wait for a break to meet with him.
Okay. Soon enough, dinner break is hosted. Most of the people were given their own special orders because that's basically what they asked for. After Aster told them, like, if there's anything we can get you, they basically went with a nice meal. More or less simple enough. So they all, like, more or less pensively think on their own things. All the while, you're able to meet with Cole without too much of an issue. You meet him alone or with your new retainer. It's entirely up to you. I'm just going to put him in the background. But eventually, you do find him underneath a tree by a park bench, air quotes, with a monogrammed, not tapestry, sorry, blanking on the name of the piece of metal they put on park benches to say in honor of blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. Plaque, thank you. With a plaque engraved with the moniker, in silver haired we stride, in golden locks we throw. Whatever that means. Cole looks towards you. Ah, Miss... no, wait. His voice more rough and tumble. Ah, Miss Alpani. Pleasure to meet you. I was informed that you wanted to communicate with me.
Yes. Alpani's going to look around, just using passive perception to make sure no one's really paying attention to what we're talking about or close.
Like, you do see a maid and a hand servant, like, far enough away that they can't hear you, but close enough that if you called for them, they would scurry towards your side. But like most well-trained servants, they are able to be seen, but cannot be heard.
I wish to talk to you about the gold rings on your fingers.
He does play with them, and he goes, "Ah, yes. Very fine things they are. Very pure metals up here in the surface." You can tell that he's more or less making small talk, looking at your hands to see if you have a ring, until more than likely you point towards your horns or antlers. I forget what they're technically called on a
Antlers?
person.
Well, technically on a person it could be either, but these would be antlers.
Yeah, okay. Good to know. On your antlers, and there he does see the gold ring fitted for that place. I see. So someone has informed you of the predicament at hand.
Yes. Been trying to keep an eye out for anyone that carries these markings.
He does not. And when he nods, you do see a hummingbird land on your shoulder. It's buzzing around. He can't hear the voice, but you just hear the buzzing, but in your own mind you do hear them speak. Man, what was their attitude again? Cocky? Hey, yo, boss!
No.
Finish tipping that guy you told me about, the one with the food stall? Oh, you're talking with some guy. Yeah, I'll wait in the corner. And then flies away into a tree. Thinking that was just a bird, he then looks towards you. Yes, we do have a few people in the city, but it goes beyond just the city itself. We want to make sure that those that have been... what's the kindest way of saying this? Non-hospital continue to not be that way.
That would be fair.
We do hope to strive with the new way things are right now. Hopefully, no one has a high disposition to this. I do know from time to time there are some fights here and there that my people hopefully try to stop. But in truth, this is all secretive, not within the order of the knights or order of the kingdom itself. It does have my financial backing, but it is not underneath my technical name, if you know what I mean.
It's understandable. A lot of the cloak and dagger stuff has to be hidden that way.
But you did say you were looking for us. Any particular reason why?
I forget the reason I was going to talk to him.
I was never informed. I
To be
remember
fair,
you...
it's been-
Yeah, it's been a while. I remember you speaking with the food stall vendor, and he told you that just very heavy pockets are lining the our groups.
okay. Now I
right.
remember.
Okay.
Thank you. So, needless to say, I was just curious who was running this to know if you could be trusted.
Trusted enough. I would say that you can trust me, but at the exact same time I've just told you, I am running underneath a non-visible group. If you do believe me a capable man, then so be it. But if not, I can understand your non-trust in my order of sorts. Basically saying he can be trusted, but only as far as you believe, since he is underneath falsehoods, basically running this group from under the table. It's up to you to decide, but he understands if you don't trust him.
At this point, Alpani will raise her hand out for the hummingbird.
Flies back to you.
She'll kind of rub his feathers and, so what did you learn?
Oh yeah, boss, get this. This guy was speaking to another person, same as you, different from the whole human elves thing. They helped them get some, I don't know, what do you humanoids call them? Food and shelter? Apparently they've been out on the streets for the last 2 weeks. Then they helped out this other dude that was being mugged by an alleyway tabaxi person. Apparently some human that was just going on their way to work somewhere. Yeah. Very weird dude. Don't know why he's doing this for free.
Thank you. You should probably head back to where you belong for now.
All right. If you need me, you know where I'll be. Feywild. They fly away and like dematerialize. Because you did summon this guy.
I did. I apologize for that, but it seems trust is a hard thing to come by lately with what I've seen. So I did have my little friend there follow the person that informed me of this group.
That is fair enough. And honestly, I thought you were just communicating with a standard bird until it became magic. So, did not honestly consider that.
I mean, I still do that as well. Magical or non-magical animals.
I suppose. Don't really know you personally, but I will believe you. That being the case, though, it's not as if it's unorthodox to find out any information you have found. If you do intend to... Not in this statement, I do apologize for the way I'm stating this. Rat me out. I suggest only doing it to me, as others can hopefully still continue to help others without my leeway or hearsay.
I will leave you be unless I notice that you become a danger.
Of course.
At which point, from what I've seen of this group, I feel that it is a good cause. But I will not hesitate to destroy you.
He does do a whole jovial laugh. You can tell by your passive perception, he understands that you are being genuine, but at the exact same time, he doesn't feel like he has anything to fear. Not because he can take you in a fight, more like he doesn't intend to ever turn evil.
On that note, I have a request.
If there is something we can do.
This gentleman here, and she'll motion for Farandir to walk up.
Yeah, he's like a block away, so he's able to meet you guys easily enough.
He had an unfortunate run-in with a necrotic ritual. He needs to be kept safe, possibly a secret for the time being, until he can be completely healed from it. We can
offer him lodgings and hopefully have him work for his meals and things of that nature, providing him a job. We can house him if that is what you seek.
I would like to have him safely housed.
That was my intent. You can roll insight if you want. Like, at any time, like, if you feel like they're lying. Or,
I'll
just to make
try.
sure.
Yeah, just make sure. Insight is my worst one. Hey, it's actually good today.
Unfortunately, this man is very genuine and truthful. At no point in time do you feel like he was lying when he made mention of only wanting to house him safely to make sure he is okay. You can tell that Cole is an honest man, but honest in the way that if it helps out other than if it helps him out. He is willing to become the bad guy in a way, but not truly becoming the bad guy. More like he'll take the fall if need be, but he won't basically cause problems if he can help it.
At the same time, the aspect of the ritual needs to be kept under wraps. Its secrecy is very important, mainly for his safety.
Right. We'll make sure he's lodged, hopefully, securely. I cannot tell if anyone is currently hunting him down, but we'll make sure that he is secure to the best of our abilities. And we'll make sure he'll have a private room, at the very least.
For the time being, I'll have him stay with me until 2 days before the meeting.
Yes, the city meeting. Unfortunately, we will not be there as we are not the leaders of the cities, but if at any chance you desire us to be there, Miss Alpani and the rest of your team, just let us know.
I'll keep that in mind.
This
So
is
then-
not me as we speak now, but me as well, a general politician.
Yes. It's going to be interesting, to say the least.
Hopefully uneventful. Would rather not have anything stir.
Oh, have you been around the king and his comrades lately?
I can't say I have other than paperwork and then King Aster mentioning that he's been reading our minds, which is concerning and underneath his law also technically prohibited under potential penalty of death and or incarceration, if I remember correctly. This is me trying to remember correctly. So I understand what you mean.
That's the smallest issue I've seen. The smallest eventful thing.
That is oh so concerning, but I am not going to pry.
For now, though, I thank you. And I will be in touch with other stuff that may need to be watched out for if the information passes to me.
Of course. And if you need our help, just look for the rings.
Alright, so then agreed upon 2 days before the meet.
Yeah.
We
He
will go.
gives you information on how to find him in case he's not at the office. You know his place of domicile and know the air quotes code, more or less the word you give the security guards there to let you through. Easily enough, can find him by any stretch of the imagination. Faraday does thank you for everything you've done for him so far. And you meet the rest of the day without too much of an impairment. Is there anything else you do in the week?
Technically, she still has the White Crow, so she'll take care of it. Try and get to understand Faraday better. And then also possibly take ventures into the city to help out with the other members of this group.
Yeah. Uh-huh. What kind of role would that be? Medicine, maybe? No, let me look at your sheet. I'm trying to give you guys something that could be helpful. Potentially. And it didn't pop up for me, which is concerning. Oh, there we go. Oh, you don't have medicine. Perfect. Go ahead and roll medicine 3 times. Okay, you did fail once, but I want to say the natural 20 cancels that out. You do gain proficiency in medicine after helping out the more or less the people in the city that are more destitute. You make sure you heal them. Make sure that they get a hungry, hearty meal. Hungry, hearty meal makes no sense. You gain proficiency. If you don't have proficiency, you gain expertise. Other way around. You know what I mean. Anyways, moving on. Thane. What do you do for the remaining of the day, and then the remaining week and a half?
Has it been a day? It's like that information.
It has not been a day. I believe you did that early morning, but we can totally say a day passes and you get this information. So, in one of the days that follow through, you do get a, more or less, you go back to the place that you were at beforehand. Now, now not just English, but grammar. Shush! Anyways, Thane, you go back to the more or less, bar area you've been to beforehand. The orcish bartender, does state, "All right. Found the information. Not really good for you, but could be beneficial to what you may want to do. After all, our work forces are very expensive. Unless you want to do this by your own hands, then who am I to stop you?" He gives you a folio of information, which basically does dictate that they read it in ways that if someone else found it, it wouldn't lead back to them. So basically, they give you the information, but unless you know what they're talking about, you would have no idea what these notes speak of. They do tell you that the individual that you are currently trying to locate is in Luminera, the 3rd quartered section of Area 2. Luminera is based off of a grid system with various layers. There's layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, and there's area 1 through 5 in each of those sections. It's an easy enough mathematical way of discerning where you're at and to where you're going.
What grid was he
in? Layer 2, area 5. Unless I misspoke the first time, in which case it doesn't matter. Layer 2, area 5.
Alright. And I'll take the information and leave.
Okay. Not taking their services to the next level. Basically, not hiring an assassin or a murderer. You head off. So what do you do for the first remainder of the day, and then what do you do for the rest of the week and a half? Like, for sure, you'd be going to school. So by that time, you would have Mage Hand, so go ahead and mark that into your book. And I'm going to say, Yoko, if you decided to take a class in college, you can also get a new spell, because they don't want to give you nothing. Level 1 or cantrip, up to you.
I guess just black research.
I heard, I guess I'll just black.
Blacks and research.
Oh, okay. I heard black and research. I'm going, like the necrotic information? You wouldn't have that. Anyways, yeah. You relax and research. You can tell that after a while, you were looking into the mountain range in Luminera, and there is a very weird commotion up there. In recent time, you can tell that there is something called... I am blanking on the name. It's an Out of the Abyss, Flimgellan? Whatever, I don't remember. But basically, it is chaotic energy within a seeping liquid throughout the mountain range that is causing magic more or less to work improperly or not as intended. I suppose Yoko might take a look at the college for a bit in the mornings. Yeah, no problem. Thane, you can also tell that this type of raw substance could be used potentially for something else, depending on what type of thing you intend for. But at the exact same time, it's very chaotic. So unless you know what you're doing, I wouldn't recommend messing with it. But, you know, I'm not the one controlling your characters. That being the case, though, you can also tell that they are mining the substance and also taking out raw material. The main things that they take out from that area is mainly metals, the raw substance of that liquid that we will just call chaotic magic, as well as this strange ore that no one really knows what it is, but it is blue and composite material, and unfortunately Luminera has a tight grip on any information that is currently available to anyone. That being the case, though, unless you find someone to get that information from, you would just need to go into the kingdom to find out more. Well, I say kingdom, but they are governed by a council. So, I don't know. I'm going to say kingdom. Still makes sense. You would need to go to that kingdom to find out any more information, unless you find someone specifically that has it.
All right.
Okay. That being the case, though, you also know that that was the last place the god you're researching was seen on this plane of existence. So, you know, there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see here. You research, so I'm gonna look at Thane. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Thane, go ahead and roll history 3 times.
Oh, that was the journey.
Give me a second while I pull out a calculator.
6, 16, 23.
Okay, the technical median is 15, which qualifies, but that is a natural 1. Thane, you can learn a new spell. I'm gonna say 2nd level or below. But you don't gain expertise or proficiency in history. Not this time. But you can add a new spell. Okay. Throughout the upcoming week, and a half, you are able to learn a few things about yourselves, about each other, and about how boring paperwork is. Soon enough, the days leading up to the council meetings are proceeding as intended. In the few days that lie in wait, you can tell that more and more noble processions do come in from various points in time. After you greet them one by one, and from time to time, they do give you offerings of the things that you do as a nobleman. You greet them, give them your salutations, and they go along their current villa that they have within the capital. Unless you invite them to stay in the castle, they generally don't.
I will make it like a group offer. So like once everyone's gathered, I'll make the offer that anyone who wants to stay may, but they are otherwise free to find their own lodging or enjoy the city as they see fit.
Yeah. Most of them just head out into the city to deal with their own things at hand. They do come in with a percussion of maybe 25 soldiers apiece. They don't, go out and harass people. It's more like, oh, they are our security. They don't mingle heavily with anyone else, and overall, you do know who they are. You meet De Leon, Nofferman. I think I already said this before. Straw, Varoda, Kingling, Umala. Someone keeps disconnecting. Hopefully that gets better. Emerald and Card. They're all more or less heavily annoying. Eventually, the dwarven man that you do know and his daughter also attend. Technically, he has yet to be removed from his position, but as the current potential leader, his daughter is also there as well. Soon enough, your friends disappear for a bit, only to meet back up the day before everything is to happen. Alpani Faranday is easily enough taken care of. Cole, true to his word, is true to his word, surprisingly. Helping out his teammates and everything of that nature, you are able to determine that they are just a vigilante group of helpers. They are honestly just helping out anyone in potential danger, anyone that needs a helping hand, or anyone that is still feeling the aftermath of the prior regulations that the former leader upheld. Faranday is able to be removed without any potential risks to his life, and you know where he is, so it's not as if he is gone forever. And, leading up to the day before the meeting is to happen, you check on him to make sure he's still there. He's still there. He's doing fine. He's currently taking care of some of the younger kids that the group also takes care of. More or less, I think he's an elven teen at his current age. Doesn't matter. Either way, he's able to help out. The day before the meetings, you guys split apart into your intended groups. Peter and Sprite are available to you if you need them. Peter is, after all, the one supposed to be guarding just in case something happens in the upcoming day. And Sprite's there. She now has proficiency in her own skills, so bonus. Is there anything you're talking about, or are you just going to pass on to the next day, which would be the council meeting? That being the case, though, Alpani was given information that the current council members will not be joining, as they are technical representatives of the cities, but since their actual leaders are here, they are not expected to be there.
I would pass that information on to Aster in case he wasn't aware.
They are welcome to, if they would like to, but they are not required.
Okay. Given this offer of potential chance, you do see three, no, four. Four individuals do take up that offer. It would be Vert, Dean, Colette, and Carl. So you know Carl's the bad guy, right?
Absolutely.
He is the wild card in everything I've stated so far. They're not moving. I just need to copy them to the new map. But yeah. Other than inviting the council members, is there anything else you do? You can say no. I'm just wondering.
I think I'm forgetting anything. It's highly possible.
Alpani would probably talk with Aster about what kind of magic he might need with this meeting, if any.
Yeah. You also know that Fiel will not be joining, or however you pronounce her name, will not be joining. She is representative of the capital, but at the exact same time, the king would supersede her, and it would be unwise politically for her to join as well. Just letting you know. But yeah, Alpani mentions there's any specific magic we need for this meeting.
Are you aware of the general plan?
Not anymore.
It's been a couple of weeks.
Well, there will be a minor disturbance, and we will use that time to screen individuals that the magic detector picks up. Do you follow now?
Yeah.
Yoko and Ten, you're also there, by the way.
So, is there any magic that I hold that could be useful for this whole meeting?
I do not know what magic that you might hold, though anything that might cure people of foggy memories or misplaced trust or misplaced hatred would come in great use.
I do have a spell that could be useful. Well, a couple. One being Calm Emotions, the other is Zone of Truth.
Those may very well be good. It's hard to say at the moment. I don't know how this is going to go. Calm Emotions most definitely will see use, though I myself can use Zone of Truth should I need to.
Okay, then I won't worry about that one. And just as a safety precaution, before the meeting, we're going to, as long as Aster's okay with it, just for an added protection, use a death ward. Because
On who?
you.
Oh.
There could be someone looking to poison or possibly outright kill you. You are bringing in people that don't agree with how the changes have happened.
This is true.
It'll last for 8 hours, which should be long enough for this meeting.
I can only hope. Thank you.
Okay. Thane, Yoko, anything else to add?
No? Nothing here.
No, I'm good.
Okay. The preceding night is relatively uneventful. Apani, Yoko, you can tell that the stirring of shadows at night is very, very visible. Even if there is an assassin in the city, you could not even tell by the way things are stirring. Aster proclaimed a while ago to the people of the capital that honored guests, or whatever way Aster put it, will be arriving within the coming week. And that was before, they actually arrived. So, like, the news of the leaders coming to tow is honestly a big event. So, if there is danger, it's definitely mixed in with the excitement in the air. You can also tell that throughout the night, it is very hard to sleep at times. I want everyone to go ahead and roll a d20. No modifier, just a d20. Those are not the numbers I was looking for. The night uneventful.
I can try again.
No. It's fine.
You're the one that asked for it, so...
Okay, I apologize for wanting better from you. I will say in a narcissistic way. Anyways, the night uneventful, you eventually go to sleep. Without too much of trouble or worry around, you can tell that the next day will be problematic in its own right. Technically, there'd be more guards in this room than that, but whatever. You guys are the first ones to arrive at the standard meeting room, which would be the meeting room that was set up for potential things to fall apart. Aster, more than likely, I assume you turned on the machine and placed the proper stones in the area.
Yes.
Okay. You already know how they work. So that's not too much of an issue to use them. One by one, you are greeted by the general masses that you have aligned here. You meet Vert and Emerald, Emerald being the leader of Verde. The lion is Colette's charge. Well, technically not charge. That would be something else. Boss, Nafranam is in line with Umala. Oops, I've switched. Oh, wait, sorry. Getting myself confused. I can't move you. Why can't I move you? Oh, you're in a different layer, aren't you? I was wondering, that was weird. Anyways. The people around you are generally their own individuals. The council members do meet with their own individual people. Dean, Verto, Carl, and the gang over here. The truest of evils, Kindling, Umwala, Nefernum, Swalwell, and Karn are all also there. Each of them are accompanied by either 2 guards, or if there's already a representative there, then 1 guard and that representative. So Carl would be the representative, and then the guard would be the daughter in that case. But everyone else, 2 guards. You guys easily see over them, and Kindling, I should really have changed his name, does basically, after some small talk here and there, bows down to you, Aster. Kindling, like the, what's it called? The thing you start a fire with. He bows and then simply states towards the group, various individuals within the realm, I greet you all and thank you, young king. What they say, young king? No, they wouldn't. Don't know how old Aster is, but I think you're younger than him, so he would maybe say it. I do thank the young king for bringing us all here. That being the case, though, if there is no rush, either a banquet would be in order, or perhaps if there is a rush, we can move things along. Amala then behind him does state, typical Kindling, always cannot pronounce his name. Typical Kindling, always want to make yourself in the good graces of the leader. I'm only making sure everyone is comfortable. Right. Stowell then states, well, enough about that. Either way, we came down here for business. Time to execute him for trying to take over the event. Karn then states, at any rate, other than the dribble that we have all dealt with for the last few minutes, may we move on. They all more or less look toward you, Aster, Thane, Yoko, Alpani, and would Thane's wife be there?
No.
I think you said to like not come, so she would not be there. I just copied and pasted everyone.
No, she'd be out still gathering information.
Yeah. Looking around, Yoko, you can tell that some of these people seem capable fighters, but not as capable as some of you. You can also tell that some of them hold blades, either ceremonial or truthful. Truthful just means they've used them before. In this case, you can tell that DeLeon does have a blade at her side and is also someone that can actually use it. Verado is one as well. Karn and Emerald. Everyone else seems more or less ceremonial. As before, the dwarven leader, not Nofernum, the other guy you've already met, carries his 2 very dangerous axes. And Aster, looking at the tablet, you can tell that most of their weapons are magical as soon as they've entered into the area, so for sure they are carrying magical things. Even some of the guards proc the little device you have. That's not unexpected, but at the exact same time, it's not as if they were expecting you to take note of it. It's more or less hidden well in the way of, you know that there's someone guarding the area, you know that there's danger there, you just don't know where it's coming from. But since you can already tell with your current device, it is enchantment class based, and it also has a tingency for the fire element for some reason.
Wait, where am I getting this from?
Some of the guards.
Some of the guards, okay. Where are these guards from?
Some of them are your own personal retainers, and others are, the guards that take care of the leaders. They live commingled.
see how that goes.
Yeah. I will state that the ones that are currently viewable are the ones that you detect more or less magical radiances around them. So there's more guards there. Those are just the ones you see that are magical. It's not to say they will attack you with it. It's just they have it.
What leaders have magic on them?
I'm just going to mark them with a red dot.
That would be preferable, thank you.
That one. That one. Him, technically, but you already knew that. And that guy. Umala also has magic around her as well, but it's like on their rings, on their equipment. So does Nofernum, but you can tell it's enchantment-based prestidigitation, like low level, making themselves look better.
Yes, well, any feasts or festivities will have to wait. My chefs have not prepared such a thing until after the meeting. Sir Kindling, your enthusiasm is not unappreciated, however. Thank you.
They bow.
So with that being said, we can get started. And I'm going to start walking towards my seat, but as I do, I'm going to go ahead and activate the water stone.
Okay. You spray a little bit of water on there, and you use the incantation that you've already stated. Remembering what these things are, you can easily tell that they activate with these triggers. You already know it, so they immediately activate. Slowly and surely enough, in the small cubby spaces you've placed these little devices, they are currently activating produce water. Immediately, what it looks like to everyone else, the plumbing underneath their feet is slowly seeping into the ground underneath them. Mortified, Colette stands on a rock, little statue thing. So do a few other people, worried, but more or less she does shriek. Stowell does state, What in the world is going on here? Have you let your castle fall to such degradation while you were gallivanting on your adventures?
I do not know what is going on here. Actually, I can't say that. Fuck.
You can just say, forgive me for such unpleasantries or something like that. It's not a lie.
Yes, well, it seems that something amiss is going on. I'll call the servants and please escort everyone away so that they might dry themselves while we ready a separate room for this discussion to take place.
They do nod. The guards take everyone away, and you can tell that they're heading towards the ballroom. The ballroom, easily enough, the one that can house them all without too much of an issue, and, well, enough space that if you need to take someone out, you can take someone out.
And then once everyone's starting to leave, gather in the ballroom, I'll send for another retainer or servant. And then in the room that we have prepared for this, I will ask for D-Lion first to meet us.
Okay. I clearly misunderstood what you meant. Because I did prepare a ballroom rather than just a single room.
Oh, dear. Okay.
Not misinterpreted. No, it is misinterpreted. Misinterpreted what you meant. I'm just going to keep using that single room that I keep using. I'm just
That's
gonna get
fine.
rid of that device that is in that room.
The adjacent room right next to it.
Yeah, the exact same copy of a room that most nobles use, because they don't care enough to change the details in that room.
Damn, that sounds right to me.
I don't know. Let's see here. You want to D-Lion first. Moving her over here. Copy and paste. Rather than having everyone like meet you together, you decide to make things separate, or at least that's how it looks like. Making sure that you can speak one-on-one while most people are taking care of themselves. Position yourselves however you want in this room. It's entirely up to you. There are bookshelves here, random journals, inks, quills, that telescope in the window, by the window. Yoko, you look at the books and you can easily discern that they are fake books that someone puts there to make themselves look smart, but maybe don't read. The typical noble thing to do, like buy books, but you never open them. You do read one of the book covers and it does state, how to cast magic without using magic. A trick's guide to making trickery. You open the book and there's nothing in it.
Is my favorite book How to Pick Up Fair Maidens here?
Yes. So your second favorite book. Man, how do I change this to make it... I'm just going to use the actual title. Yes, that book is also there, as well as your second favorite book until you realize that it was all satire. Or not really, you're still debating that. The Game.
Oh yes, a good read, that one.
Anyways, you make it into the room. I've given you enough time to position yourself however you want. D-Lion is introduced, as well as she's likely going to have a guard with her.
Yeah, it's fine. They can bring their whole quartet if they wanted.
It would be her guard and probably Colette. I'm going to just say you gave him a +2. You can tell this woman is an Aasimar. She has like very bright cerulean eyes, golden locked hair to the point of truly golden. She carries herself with high rapport, and she is around 6'3". Very tall woman. I don't remember how tall Apani is or Yoko, but very tall woman, regardless.
Are we including the height with the antlers or not?
Yes.
She'd be probably looking into Alpani's antlers then.
Fair enough. She bows down graciously. Colette, in turn, also doing it, as well as the guard. Oh, 5'4". Good to know. Maybe. The lion then states, "Honored king and gracious hosts, what brings us all here today?"
Lady DeLion, please forgive the unpleasant parries of the meeting room. Due to a perceived risk, I am slightly increasing security. It was noted that you have several magical items on your possession, and they would need to be identified.
Of course. She does remove her long sword. Yep, long sword. Long sword, presents it to her guard, which presents it to you. She also removes her 2 earrings and, like, again, presents it to guard, presents it to you. So the guard's like right there with his 2 instruments. You can tell that the ping in the area is moving, but again, it's not so definitive that you know that those could be just the magical items she has. She might have more, but it is not that pinpoint accurate. But the guard does like present their hands to show the items. Very well then. Have one of your mages or guards cast Identify to take note. I am more than willing to wait while everyone else gets less waterlogged.
Of course. Thane, Yuko, if you would be so kind. And Lady Delight, thank you. How long has it been since you last visited the capital?
It has been roughly a year and a half. Last time was when the No problem, Apani. Last time was when the unannounced next ruler was stated, which would have been your former brother. I came along with the former ruler of the city at that former noble from my city at that point in time as one of their they weren't dating and the guy doesn't have a wife. I guess mistress would still work. Mistress at the time.
I see. And how are things at your home city of insert the city name that I would know here?
Yeah. You know the city's name as Lighthouse. It houses a good amount of Asimar as well.
Lighthouses?
And lighthouses. Sure. Sure, why not? The lighthouses are generally modeled for church purposes. And, I don't know, making sure boats don't hit the rocky shores. It would be an inline city, but at the exact same time, this is funnier. A whole bunch of lighthouses on a very big lake. She then states, they've been going well. Things have progressed smoothly, and hopefully, with time, your interventions with the populace will go fruitfully.
I do so hope. Tell me, have you had many dealings with the other city leaders since then?
From time to time, I've made merriment with others, but simple hearsay here and there. Simple communication, simple rumors we've all heard. From time to time, Sir Emerald tries to communicate with me, sending me gifts, which is not unexpected, but I always decline them as he was below the station I was accustomed to.
How do you mean?
He was, at the time, I don't know which one's higher. I'm going to say Duke is lower than Viscount, even though I easily can be wrong. At the
You
time,
were totally wrong.
I'm going to say Viscount then. At the time,
Duke there's Duke, and there's Archduke, and then there's the King.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I knew Duke was high. I didn't know it was that high. I'm going to say Viscount. At the time, he was a Viscount, and his former older sibling was a Duke. The former individual that I had relations with was a Duke in turn. I would not step lower than what I am accustomed to. Although they were greetings. But most men often go with greetings first, and their true intent later. That is why I also did not accept gifts from Vorado. Which would be Dean. Dean's boss.
Right.
The guy that doesn't like you.
Yeah.
One second. For some reason, someone's ringing my doorbell. And I'm back.
Well, thank you for indulging me in this conversation, Lady Deline. Yuko, Thane, have you finished your identifications?
Would I have finished it by now?
If you're visually casting it, for sure. You could have finished it like 5 minutes ago, and then they were just doing small talk. You identify the items, and it is the... man, I keep giving you guys this item, but it's for sure something she would have. You can tell that this is a +3 blade, the longsword itself. It has the ability to use... it's not the proper term, but it's considered aura, which would be the equivalent of a smite in paladin levels. It is the equivalent of a smite, but not given through a celestial cause, rhyme, or god. Think of it as a paladin's blade. The last time you guys got this, you didn't really figure it out. I guess it's here again. It is a very dangerous weapon, especially in the wrong hands, so Yoko now is currently identifying it, and who knows if those are the right hands. The next two,
Obviously.
the next 2 items you identify, either Thane or Yoko, it doesn't really matter, are the earrings. The earrings are subtly potentially dangerous in the wrong hands once again. One of them is a pearl of power, and the other one is a concentration orb, which is for a caster. You would be able to concentrate on 2 spells with this thing, but immediately if you decide to use it, after the spell is fully dissipated, the pearl would be destroyed. No problem. It's not as if they can spam, spells, but, if she has them or if someone needs them, they would be able to use 2 very powerful spells at once. Potentially. Like, it is for sure something that, a capable fighter would have, but at the exact same time, it's a little weird that they have them at the meeting, but not heavily weird, as the last time Aster spoke with nobility or former nobility or leaders, he murdered him. So no, precautions.
And that's all of them?
All that she gave.
Thank you, Lady Deline.
Of course.
If you two would be so kind as to return her things to her. And then if someone, if you turn outside, ask one of the servants to escort you to the meeting hall. Normally we use it for the council, though it will be our backup for this time frame.
They nod. They head out. And you can tell with passives, Yoko and Apani, Colette wasn't saying anything, but she was like observing everyone, keeping an eye out on everything. Like, that's not impossible, but at the exact same time, it's weird that she didn't say anything, because she always has something to say. I'm just going to say that's the next person's guard. Next person.
Next person would be Vorta, or however you say his name.
Yeah. They would be accompanied by 1 guard and Dean. All bowing and saluting, including the guard. New guard, different, same token. Vorta then states, "Your Majesty, It has been an honor to be here, and under the circumstances, still a pleasure.
Thank you for your kind words. Please forgive the unpleasantness in the meeting hall. We will see to fixing it. In the meantime, due to a perceived threat, we are increasing security. You've been identified as having several magical items on your person. Would you mind if my mages here identify?
Of course, but I would only have one. Unless you presume I am lying. Either way. He does take off...
Forgive me, I may have misspoke.
It's quite alright. Hyperbole and all that. He takes off his coat, which for some reason flickers in the air, and he hands it over to the guard. Guard, again, comes over, presents it as one would. Small talk later, Yoko, you ritually cast it, and it is identified as a displacer cloak.
A fine cloak. However, did you come across such a thing?
My the former leader of the city itself came about various ritualistic items and made various items in turn. This is one such thing. It helps the wearer not be attacked by anyone. And while traveling on the road, my advisors stated to wear it just in case for defensive purposes.
Your advisors are smart. Roads can be dangerous.
Of course. And Yoko, you can ask, like, what happened to the other former owner? Because it is weird that they just gave it up.
Nah, I don't really care that much.
That's fine. Verado does state, other than these pleasantries and the later meeting at the earliest convenience, once everyone has dried themselves, man, this is a weird sentence. I'm going to say it anyways. Do what I owe the honor with this private meeting.
Again, simply a matter of security.
Of course.
Tell me, have you had business in the capital recently?
I can't really say that I have, but I did send a few missives towards my council. The councilman here looks towards Dean, stating how he was doing and how everyone's faring in the capital, as well as any potential provisions and the like that they would need.
And have you had dealings with perhaps other council members or city leaders since?
Recently, no, but formally, yes. At times, I did send gifts to the new leaders and thanking them for their time, as well as providing some small trinkets here and there to give my... looking at their names. One from a Sir Emerald, the current leader of Verde, one from Karn, and one from the council member Carl.
I hear that Emerald is a most excellent gift giver. Might I inquire as to what he gave?
From what I remember, it was a brooch. He points towards it. It's on his person. He would obviously wear it because it would be something fancy. It's a nice little scarab beetle brooch that is very jade looking, and it does have these symbols on it that aren't exactly magical. At least on the surface, it doesn't look magical. Finding a gift, decided to wear it since we were all meeting together for the first time.
I'm sure he appreciates the gesture. Those symbols, I sort of recognize them from my sister's studies. Would you mind if one of my mages actually identified that as well?
of course. He does remove it and like hands it to guard, hands it to Yoko. You make some small talk, and Yoko, you are identifying this thing. On the surface, it doesn't read like magic, but with the identify spell, you can discern what it is. This is a low-level enchantment, which means it can break if something happens, like if it's destroyed, hit, or punctured in any way, shape, or form. Like if Verado does take a fall and it hits it, it could, activate. This is a 8th level, very dangerous fireball. Epicenter, the scarab itself. It is also known as a
bomb.
Yes, it is a bomb. It is also known as a keystone. And Aster, these are basically items that activate on a certain rhyme or reason. But one so flimsy would potentially be activated if something were to happen to him. Or it, technically.
Well, that's not very kind of him. And I'll tell the others what it is.
Yeah. Do you tell Verado, or do you just keep it between the group?
I just say it out loud.
Yeah, that checks out. Verado is taken aback, but at the exact same time, all of you can tell that he is not heavily taken aback by it. It's as if he was surprised at the moment, but then not surprised, thinking it through. Well, I suppose one would do that based off of my former history. Well, former lineage.
Is there a history between you and Sir Emerald I should be aware of?
Not he and I, but my past history and the former leader's history in turn. A ritualistic man, very depraved and deprived, having the backing of the former king. I, as his former son, was more or less inclined to death threats and violence in turn. I did not care for my father's ill will. And then he looks towards his brother. And I did not care for what he did to my brother. Not that you knew he was his brother, but now you do. So when the mobs came for him, when you imposed your order, King, I was not one to shed a tear at his beheading. That being the case, though, it seems that people still hold a grudge.
Might I ask your opinion of me, Verado?
Someone that asks for a quick change, but someone that could potentially have that change stick around. There is... Oh, man. Yoko, come back! There is a potential here, but I have yet to see it to its full length.
Thank you. I do not know what your brother has, but we have had our disagreements, though I do hope that him seeing this sheds light onto some of those disagreements.
He looks towards his brother, and Dean does state, not really, but it does help out that you do care for the people around you, even those that you have yet to speak with. In that part, I am grateful for you. And I don't remember that if this is his cadence, but it is now. I think he was just a sassy man. At any rate, I do thank you for assisting, and it seems that these continuous safeguards were advisable. And Verado does state, agreed on that part.
I will have this disposed unless you mean for it to do something else.
Not really. It is yours. But try not to, by your mage's words, accidentally bump into something with it.
Of course.
That being the case, though, do you mind if your mages scan me for anything else? I did receive some gifts here and there from others, and I would hate to be the threat to their lives and yours.
By all means. And if you would like to call for one of your own mages, should you not believe mine, you are more than welcome to do so.
You have yet to lie to me. I see no reason why. The mage casters, which is just about everyone except for Aster, technically, air quotes, technically, work him up and down, has no more magical stuff other than the Displacer Cloak. Truthfully, a man just coming here for politics. He does have a ceremonial blade. He can use it, but it has been some time since he's used it. Especially by the cleanliness of it. He does keep his blade very clean, but only for, well, making sure it doesn't rust and things of that nature. Eventually, potentially, you give him his cloak back. If not, then, I don't know, I guess you have a Displacer Cloak now.
Don't threaten us with a good time.
You give it back to him when he does state. If there's anything else you need to discuss before the entire meeting, let me know. Otherwise, thank you for your time and your assistance in this matter.
Did you want this back?
I'd rather not have a bomb on me.
Understandable.
He takes his Displacer Cloak back, doesn't take the fireball. Aster, you thank him or not. You go, now get out of here, or something.
By chance, do you know if Lord Emerald has given any other gifts to anyone?
I am not one to play the heavy politics game. I do know that he is a generous man, but with what I've seen here, might be generous for his own reasons.
I don't think I'd call giving people bombs to wear being generous.
That was not an actual thing I mean.
Have one of the assistants show you to the council room.
Of course.
Dean, if you would stay back so kindly so I might speak to you for a moment.
Very well, then. Heads out. You basically kick him out. He begins running and screaming and crying down the hallway. That doesn't happen, but it'd be funny if it did. Guard also joins, but I'm just going to put him here because they're going to be needed for the next person, maybe? But he's there. And again, all of you are there. Not Aster is the only one that can speak. You all can.
Yeah, I'm not trying to dominate the scene. Guys, feel free.
I know, but Alpani and Thane are quiet, which is understandable. I'm just making sure that you are more than welcome to speak. But Dean looks to the group. Is there something you require?
Do you know if any of the council members have received gifts from Lord Emerald?
The only ones that I have seen receive gifts are Colette, Carl, Vert, which would be Emerald's own council member, and myself from time to time, but not from Mr. Emerald. I just know that these individuals have been receiving gifts here and there, but not to, and Carl, but not so heavily, and I don't pry into who they received it from. And I had not pried into who they received it from.
Thank you. The simple information may very well save their lives.
Very well then. If there's anything else, just let me know. Otherwise, I do need to attend to my own silly leader. But the way I slurred that, it sounded like silly leader.
Yes, that's what I thought you said, implying
City
they're
leader.
friends. Oh, yeah, I figured it was just him like lightly teasing his brother.
It would have been if he was still here, but no, that was just me messing up.
And I will send not for the next council member or the next city leader, but for the council members that Dean named.
Okay.
The ones who are present, at least.
Yeah. That would be Colette. Oh, that would actually be everyone other than him. That. It all leads back to Carl. Okay. Other than Dean, who I guess you let go. These guys would not have a guard, since it would be not wise to have your silly leader. I did say silly that time, and I meant it. To have their guards there. So the three are there anyways. All bow, do their greetings, salute towards the rest of the team. Carl then states, King and I don't really know if you're retainers, but honored and welcome guests as well. Do we owe the pleasure of the summons?
Due to the main hall being flooded, we have increased security a little bit more tightly. During some initial investigation, we've identified some potential hazards. Do any of you have on you gifts given to you by Lord Emerald?
Carl then states, not that I'm aware of. I did receive a gift not that long ago of sweets from him. I did eat them roughly a week ago. I do apologize if they were needed for something. Vert then states, this armor set is something that was given to me by him. And Colette does state, I had received some things here and there, but nothing of value to me. But you are more than welcome to feel around if you must. And then Carl outright just says, it's very forward and very creepily said, but I suppose the wording is correctly. If you do need to identify something on us, more than welcome to, but maybe not the way she said it.
Yes. If you will present those gifts forward, Vert and Colette, so that they might be identified.
She shows you a quill and ink case. Vert is his armor, so he just presents himself. And Carl ate the sweets already. There's nothing that can be done for him.
Well, he's doomed.
Someone cast Identify on Carl, at least.
That's what I'm doing.
Thank you. You can at least tell him how long he
Has to live.
has to live.
Yeah. I am sorry, sir, but you've got like an hour to live. Go be free.
Panicking.
Make peace.
Okay. I want to go with Yoko and go up from there. Yoko, you cast Ritual Identify while people make small talk. Colette's brush case and quill and ink seem to be ritualistic magic based, but not so much that it is currently active. Once the spell components, which would just be paper and ink put together, would this thing trigger? This is simply known as symbol magic. Simple and symbol magic. With the proper symbols, you could be able to cast your own spells. This is very dangerous for various reasons, obviously, because if you know how to cast the fireball spell, you wouldn't need to technically cast it, you would just need to write it down. Very problematic.
Oh, shit. I want that shit.
However, this current case is only good for one use. But still, very useful, very dangerous. Next, we have Vert and his armor set. You detect no leyline magic other than a curse upon him, which is why it hasn't fully activated yet. Until it is presented or the right environment happens, will it activate. You can tell that for sure. Since you have never seen him fight, it's likely if he begins to fight. You ask him if he's ever taken it off, like, during the shower or like changing clothes. He does say yes, so it's not like pinned on him permanently. But whatever curse it is, it hasn't activated just yet. And Thane and Alpani checking over Carl to see how long he has to live. Thane, you are able to visually identify him. And it does have a slow-acting charm spell on him. It's the equivalent of a 8th level dominate person. It's very dangerous, and by the consumption way of doing things, it would be long-lasting, more than just an hour, a day, 8 hours. It would last for a while.
I'm gonna tap him on the shoulder and cast this spell. So what do I have to roll again? Yeah, I ain't used spell magic.
D20 plus spell modifier. That being the case, though, because it's in a food substance, if someone has, I don't know, get rid of poison or something of that nature.
Oh. Yeah, I would know that before.
Yeah. We can say you didn't dispel it if you wanted. Dispel for sure would work, but since it's in a food-based substance, it could be dissuaded this way.
Aster, would you your little ability you have to poisons?
Would this work?
Yeah, technically. In my notes, it is classified as poison, so works out.
I'll cast identify on him again, just to make sure it's gone.
He now only has food poisoning. Apparently, that food poisoning is so strong that magic can't get rid of it. But he normally has food poisoning, so that's just his body.
You need to get a new cook.
Yeah.
The wayward effects of the magic have been seen too.
Well, I don't have a cook. I go out and eat at a restaurant from time to time. A lot of red meats.
Dude, we need to work on your diet.
He just has a bad diet. He's fine. Now. You might.
Did Yoko tell us about Vert's armor?
Yeah, I would tell everyone after we got done identifying everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vert. You might want to remove that armor.
It is from my leader. He would not harm me.
It's cursed.
Curses have varying effects.
Vert, with all respect, we just took away a full dominate person off of Carl.
Looking towards
And we found this on someone else, which will explode if it breaks. And I show him the brooch Verado had.
Okay. Man, it's late in the day. I don't know if I'm gonna roll turn order now. So I'm just gonna describe what happens and then we're gonna end it here. When you show him this, and before he can sass the king, basically stating, my leader would never do this. Clearly someone putting up to this. Yoko, you present the scarab to him, and I'm going to say you still have Identify up and running. I think it lasts for like 10 minutes, or it takes 10 minutes. Either way, it's still up. You can tell immediately the armor begins to meld around his skin and change it. He goes for his ceremonial, air quotes, blade, and goes in for a lunge at the scarab. I'm not saying he goes and hits it. I'm just saying
Old person.
that's basically what's happening. I'm also not saying that you get to hold person, because I did say you would have to roll initiative when you see this. That being the case, though, before you hold person, before you actually can draw a sword to swing in, you detect that he immediately changes and the curse has taken effect. What will happen next time might involve Carl's true death, the mastermind of this all. I don't know why it keeps coming up to Carl, but it keeps coming up to him.
It's the name. It's the name. Carl.
Probably. Either way, we'll figure out what happens next time, either if he's held or if he moves before you do. We'll figure that one out as we end the session for today.